Welcome back to Wave of Docker. First Watch Friday, episode 3. The movies I watched from last Friday, December 13th, to yesterday, December 19th. I watched a lot of movies this week. But yeah, I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Let's just get into it. First up, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Obviously, I'm going to crash out. This was a very beautiful story. I've heard it was a very beautiful story. I heard I was going to cry. I actually didn't cry. I teared up a few times. I teared up when we cut back to them reconnecting after they both had forgotten each other. Or no, they did forget each other. And Jim Carrey walks in on... this is Blanchett? No, it's not. It's Winslet. When he walks in on Winslet listening to the CDs, I believe, of Carrie talking about her. That's when I started to tear up a little bit. But this movie was very cool. It was shot in a very interesting way. Those sequences of him trying to, when Winslet and him were like working on escaping the grasp of the doctor, trying to find them when he was trying to erase the memories, like them like going back to him being a kid. I thought that was really interesting. And like him, like the sequence when he's going up and down the street when Winslet is walking away from him, I thought that was really cool. Like there's just a lot of really cool, like trippy sequences in this that I thought were really neat. I always like kind of like similar to Inception, where it's just like those inside the mind. You can get really tricky and like really creative with the camera. And I thought it worked really well. And I thought this movie was really, really neat. There was that subplot with, like, obviously, I mean, Ruffalo and Dunst, like they were, significant characters, and Elijah Wood as well. But there's like that part where Dunst like admits that she's in love with the head doctor, and Deirdre O'Connell knew the whole time. I don't know. There was like kind of like a really weird thing with that. I didn't really understand what the deal with that was, because apparently Dunst like got her memory erased and they were a thing. I don't know. I didn't really get it, but this movie was great. Made me emotional. Very great love story. Shot really well. I thought Jim Carrey was fantastic. I always like seeing him in a role like this where he's not necessarily he really didn't do that much. He played kind of the straight man throughout the entire thing, and I enjoyed that. And like that final sequence of her being like, "You're gonna find something that you don't like about me, and I'm gonna get bored with you," and then he's just like, "Okay," like kind of accepting that. If you really like somebody, you're always willing to try it. Like, don't just give up. Don't, allow a notion of maybe this isn't going to work out to stop you from trying. I thought that was a really sweet sentiment. And overall, I thought this movie was just really great. I enjoyed it a lot. Next up, Catch Me If You Can. Spielberg, DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Amy Adams is in this. Who else is in this that I know? Martin Sheen, that's right, and Christopher Walken. Yeah, that's right. Elizabeth Banks. Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was at the bank, right? Whatever. Yeah, I thought this movie was awesome. And Jennifer Gardner as well, for like 2 minutes. But this movie was really cool. I love DiCaprio in anything. I think he's such a wonderful actor. And Spielberg is like one of the best with the camera. I think the best sequence, let's see if we can find it. Catch Me If You, let's go. Let me see. The best, whatever. Catch Me If You Can airport scene. Here we go. Yeah, so this whole sequence I thought was awesome. But there's a final shot. I'm not doing this.
Thank you all very much.
Here we go. So like DiCaprio gets the driver to dress like the pilot. There's just a really cool camera shift that I thought was really, really fun.
Don't shoot me. I'm just a driver. A man paid me $100 to wear this uniform, pick someone up at the airport.
Who are you picking up?
And I love this. That's so good. So you get that into that. I thought that was awesome. Very fun sequence. And DiCaprio and Tom Hanks going back and forth, and this was great. All their phone calls were really fun. And it's a Christmas movie. I feel like it takes place like they're always talking on Christmas. I thought Walken was great. Martin Sheen was fun. Very good cast. Very good. I don't know. I mean, what else is there to say? This is one of Spielberg's best. I think it's very heavily acclaimed. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. Like I said, shot really well. Spielberg's just the man. There's just so many good like one takes, like one shots and long takes that were just really cool. And it's just neat, true story and just how creative he was. I thought that was really cool. Like soaking all the planes in the bathtub to put on the checks, and I thought that was just really fun. Fun movie. Next up, Beautiful Boy. Gah! That was my review. Didn't cry as much as I thought. I kind of cried a lot early, just with just a lot of the father-son like hugging scenes, but seeing Carell in this, in a role like this, I thought was really refreshing. Chalamet, as always, was fantastic. What's the wife's name? No. Yes. Oh, she was, the mom in Iron Claw. And in Twisters, too. Okay, yeah, I knew I'd seen her before. She was great. I like her a lot. And Amy Ryan as well. It's cool seeing Carol and Michael Scott back together. Or not Carol, Holly and Michael Scott back together. But yeah, I mean, this movie was wonderful. A lot of the reviews were talking about how like the music cues were kind of off. I didn't really feel that way. I thought they worked really well. There's like I think Sigur Rós was on the soundtrack for this. I thought that was really neat. But yeah, I thought the score and the soundtrack were really great. I think it worked really well. Like that really like intense like kind of like psychedelic freaky music that was playing when he was going to the hospital and he had checked himself out. I thought that worked really well. There was like I did chuckle a little bit when Chalamet left for like the second or third time from the house and Crow was like yelling at him, and I could only think of just like Michael Scott yelling like I like anything he yelled in that shit, like I declare bankruptcy. Like he just has a very funny, or an Anchorman who's like, I don't know why we're yelling. Like I thought that was really funny. But I mean overall just a very heartfelt, emotional film just between the relationship between father and son. Yeah, I mean I just thought Chalamet was so good. I mean I don't know. It's just an awesome movie. And a sad movie, but really good. And I like their house that they live in. I thought that was a really nice house. I think it was Sigur Rós. Sigur Rós. Beautiful Boy. Yep. I know that song. Yeah, I guess they play the whole song. Oh, this song is so good. But Timothée Chalamet is just such a good fucking actor, and he portrays his emotions so well. Like he's the best. I love him. Next up, Escape from New York. Kurt Russell's the coolest guy ever. Yeah, he is. Oh, Nosferatu. I'm seeing that next week for sure. But yeah, I mean, I love Kurt Russell. John Carpenter. The Thing is really great. This is just a fun one. I think it's cool that he composes the score for all of his films. Like I think that's just a fun, or not all of them, but I mean I think he did this and The Thing. But I think it's always neat that he does that. Pardon me. But yeah, I mean this was just like a cool like dystopian kind of thing. It was very like, I don't know, that one guy looked like David Bowie. He was kind of freaking me out. I don't really like him that much. He had like the really big hair, and he was just kind of like, he was just a weirdo. But Isaac Hayes as the Duke, I thought was really cool. He's just a fun guy. He's always fun. Who's this? Oh, is that the police chief? Cabby was fun too. I liked him. I thought it was cool. Like, there's a sequence when it's like, oh, I got this hat from Cabby, and I traded him, the tapes. Or no, I got it from Cabby, and then like get in the car, and then Cabby's like, oh, these tapes? I thought that was neat. And then the whole like bait and switch at the end, where Kurt Russell gives him the wrong tape for the summit, and then he just kind of walks away. I thought that was really neat. Yeah, I mean Kurt Russell with an eye patch and long hair and a gun and insists that you call him Snake, I thought was just really neat. A lot of cool use of miniatures, which I always love. I mean, I don't know, not much else really to say about this film besides the fact that it's just really cool. And Kurt Russell in any action flick is going to be the coolest dude ever, which I feel like I don't know if I've really seen him in anything but action adjacent films. Like I've seen him in Tombstone, The Thing, Hateful Eight, this. I mean, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for a spell, but I mean, that was whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's just a really fun film. Some really cool sequences. That whole thing on the bridge when they were avoiding all the mines, I thought was really fun. And Harry Dean Stanton, I like him just because I like him in Alien. I need to watch Paris, Texas too. But yeah, Escape from New York, good movie. Is this? No. Girl in Chock-full of Nuts, yeah. Her? Yeah. She was really pretty in this. She was in The Thing? I guess so. Alright. Next up. Well, this isn't a first watch, but I've been rewatching all the films. There's too much slapstick in this. I think they should have had Jar Jar lean into more Bugs Bunny stuff instead of just having a stupid voice and just being annoying. Queer. Saw this in theaters. Really great. I love Luca Guadagnino in anything. This was probably, like, my favorite of his was probably Challengers, and then probably Call Me By Your Name, and then Queer, and then Bones and All, I'd say, of the four that I've seen from him. But yeah, I mean, I thought this one was neat. There's some really cool, like, there's a sequence when he's walking down the street, or Daniel Craig's, like, walking down the street to Come As You Are by Nirvana. I thought that was just a really awesome sequence. Like, it works. So I wonder if that scene's on YouTube, actually. It probably is. Come As You Are, Queer. Ah, man. Oh, well. But yeah, and Drew Starkey in this was awesome. This is like the first thing I've seen him in ever. Or actually, no, he was briefly in Devil All the Time, which I watched a few months ago. But he was like one of the punks that Tom Holland beat up. But he was great in this. Jason Schwartzman was in a fat suit, and I feel like that was just kind of off-putting, honestly. Like, I don't know if he needed that, but his character was kind of funny. The ayahuasca sequence, obviously, is the best part. And I feel like that's, like, the main thing that everyone seems to be taking away from this film. And I was, like, telling my friends that I talk to films about or whatever, and I was just saying, like I feel like with a lot of his films, I kind of walk away with some semblance of, like, something gained, at least. Like, I'll walk away from Challengers being like, oh, you know, Art and Patrick are like, you know, they're like, that relationship is the most, you know, significant part of the whole film, and, like, it's just kind of like that love triangle between Tashi and just, like, a very cool final satisfying end sequence. Call Me By Your Name, obviously, I feel like it's the most impactful between Elio and Oliver. I thought that was just really neat, and that final long shot of him by the fireplace. Bones and All, just a really great love story. And, like, this is a good, like, love story, I guess, but it's just kind of like it's kind of like a situationship. And, like, I feel like I didn't really walk away from like any, like, I didn't really walk away from this film besides, like, it's beautifully shot. Like, I love the set design. I love the colors. I just love how Luca filmed this. There's, like, a use of miniatures. I thought that was awesome. And great performances all around. But I didn't really, like, leave this with, like, any sort of, like, like, anything to think about besides the fact that it looked awesome. And it was really colorful. And I liked the music. So, yeah. I don't know if that's a hot take, but really good film. I liked it a lot. But probably not my favorite of Luca's. Attack of the Clones isn't my favorite prequel, but, you know, whatever. I just love it. I love Camino. I love Geonosis. I love it. I love it. I love Padme and Anakin. I love Across the Stars. It's the best. Mission Impossible Fallout. The second to last, or I guess it's third. I don't know, but the next part in Mission Impossible that I had to watch. It might be my second favorite behind 3, honestly. I don't know. A lot of unnecessary bits and pieces, but man, the helicopter chase may be the best sequence of the series. That holds true. Cavill in this was a little underwhelming. I thought I don't know if it was his delivery or his dialogue, but I just didn't really feel, like, physically he worked so well. Like, him in the action sequences, him on the helicopter with the machine gun, him in the bathroom beating up that one guy. Like the physicality of the role he nailed. Like I think he just fits perfectly into Mission Impossible. But a lot of his lines I just felt were a little weak. I don't know. I don't really dig his American accent. It just kind of sounds off. But Rebecca Ferguson was great once again. Luther, I just love that he's in every movie now. He's the fucking goat. I love him so much. Ving Rhames. Simon Pegg was great. John Harris was great. Angela Bassett was great. Vanessa Kirby is beautiful, and she was also great in this. But yeah, I mean, there are so many good sequences. Like the skydiving scene was great. Like I said, the helicopter chase was fucking awesome. It was funny though, just like that constant cut between full screen and like that cut, action scene. Throughout that whole sequence, I thought that was just really funny. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of fun. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I guess let's pull up the helicopter sequence, I guess, while we're here. But like, yeah, I mean, and that whole thing with like the cop catching them as they're leaving the garage. Like I thought that didn't really need to be in the movie. There's just like a few other bits and pieces that I just didn't really need, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little picky. And this is insane. Just him climbing up here and then like taking control of the helicopter and then like dropping the payload and he's like trying to drop it onto them. Yeah, I mean like physically he fits this. Oh, that's awesome. And it's just so beautiful. Like the landscape is great. The camera work is great. I love when cameras are mounted. It's like a very Matt Reeves thing that he does in a lot of his films, and I like seeing it. Other directors use it. Like it's not obviously he didn't pioneer the technique, but I just think he uses it really well. And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and the Batman. But this is just awesome. And like Cavill's death is like one of the more brutal deaths I feel like in the whole thing. With that hook just fucking snapping onto his face. I couldn't believe that. That was crazy. And yeah, and then he becomes like this like burn victim. Like the climax of the sequence is probably the best Cavill in the whole film. But like, yeah, I don't know, something with his delivery I just kind of felt was off a little bit. I don't know if I'm in the minority with that, but whatever. This is probably the best of the prequels, but there's just some bits and pieces I don't really enjoy, and that's why I think Attack is my favorite. But moving on, Suspiria, the final film or final new first time watch of the week. This is like on the algorithm. I don't know. Like apparently, like it was. I think the remake was suggested to me, like films you should watch before watching Eggers' Nosferatu, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a vampire thing, but it's not. It's about like it's about like witches and the occult, and that weird wolf. I don't even know what that is. Like, and there's like that weird. Like, hold on, look how fat this bat is. What is it? Bat in the cupboard. Suspiria. Look how colorful this film is. I love Jessica Parker. I think she's so pretty.
Excuse me.
And she was awesome in this.
Where is everybody?
I love her voice.
They have all gone to the theater.
Look how fat that thing is. Why is that thing so big? It went on for way too long. But yeah, I mean, like, the whole thing is about, like, witches and the occult. But then there's a bat, and there's a weird wolf thing. But, I mean, look how, like, the colors in this are awesome. Just the blues, the reds, the greens. That was really fun. Wolf thing, Suspiria. I need to watch the new one. Whatever. It's not on this. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. Um, but yeah, it was just kind of like everything like kind of like culminated very quick. Like it was like her friend Sarah was like, "Oh, they talk about witches," and then she talks to like the old dude about it, and he's like, "Yeah, the occult. Like she moved to this town and lived here," and then she like talks to other people at the place about it, and then she like remembers like the girl that died in the beginning being like, "Oh, the secret, the blue lilac, turn the blue lilac," and then she goes into the headmaster's office, turns it, and then goes into this like long hallway, and just sees them talking in the room, and then she goes into like the bedroom, and she kills that ghost lady. I mean, hold on. The bedroom scene was like pretty freaky. Like that kind of gave me a little spook. Suspiria.
Cue music.
Not this.
Come home for the holidays to Disney Plus.
No, this isn't what I want. There we go. A whole playlist. Yes, this one. Yeah, so he sees dead chick, dead Sarah. This guy freaked me out. This is gross. This freaked me out a lot. Look at the colors. Look how pretty she is. And she's like, "Oh, the outline of this person." This thing gives me the creeps. And look how gross she is. That was cool. I love the score for this movie too. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, just like a lot of like unexplained weird things. But yeah, I mean, it was good, colorful. I liked it. So yeah, that's all the movies I watched this week. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. First Watch Friday, episode 3. Go out there and watch some movies. Peace out.